Picture this. You're about to have the worst day of your life. Your house is getting demolished, you discover Earth is about to be destroyed by aliens, and your best friend turns out to be an extraterrestrial researcher. Sound like a nightmare? Well, for Arthur Dent, it's just Tuesday. Welcome to the absolutely bonkers universe of Douglas Adams, where the meaning of life is 42. Dolphins are smarter than humans, and the most important thing you can carry is a towel. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy isn't just a book, it's a cultural phenomenon that has been making people laugh, think and question reality for over 4 decades. What started as a BBC radio series in 1978 became a literary masterpiece that redefined science fiction comedy forever. Adams created something truly special here, a story that manages to be simultaneously hilarious and profound, absurd yet surprisingly insightful about human nature and our place in the universe. This isn't your typical space opera with laser battles and heroic adventures. Instead, Adams crafted a satirical masterpiece that uses the vastness of space as a backdrop to explore philosophy, bureaucracy, technology, and the fundamental absurdity of existence itself. The book follows Arthur Dent, an ordinary Englishman who gets swept up in an intergalactic adventure after Earth's destruction, armed with nothing but his pyjamas and a guide that claims to know everything about everything. What makes this book extraordinary is how Adams uses comedy as a vehicle for genuine wisdom. Behind every ridiculous alien encounter and bureaucratic nightmare lies a sharp observation about modern life, human behaviour, and our endless quest for meaning. The story operates on multiple levels, entertaining readers with its wit, while simultaneously offering a unique perspective on existence, knowledge, and the universe's apparent indifference to our concerns. The genius of Adams lies in his ability to make the cosmic personal and the personal cosmic, creating a narrative that feels both epic and intimate. Arthur Dent's morning begins with bulldozers threatening to demolish his house for a bypass. Little does he know this minor inconvenience pales in comparison to what's coming next. His friend, Prefect, who Arthur always assumed was from Guildford, reveals he's actually from a small planet near Betelgeuse and has been stranded on Earth for 15 years, researching for a guidebook called The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Before Arthur can process this revelation, massive yellow spaceships appear in the sky. The Vogons, a race of bureaucratic aliens with faces like unpleasant sweat puddings, announce they're destroying Earth to make way for a hyperspace bypass. Ford saves Arthur by hitching a ride on the Vogon ship, but not before Earth and everyone on it are vaporized. Arthur finds himself the last surviving human floating through space with an alien who casually mentions that Earth was never actually significant anyway. Their journey becomes increasingly surreal as they encounter Zaphod Beeblebrox, the two-headed, three-armed president of the galaxy, who has stolen the revolutionary starship Heart of Gold. Zaphod travels with Trillian, a woman Arthur once met at a party who left Earth before its destruction, and Marvin, a chronically depressed robot with a brain the size of a planet. The group discovers that Earth was actually a giant computer designed to calculate the ultimate question to the ultimate answer about life, the universe, and everything. Millions of years earlier, a race of hyper-intelligent beings built a massive computer called Deep Thought to find this answer. After 7.5 million years of calculation, Deep Thought revealed the answer was simply 42, but explained they needed to understand the actual question. Earth was commissioned as an even more powerful computer to determine what the question actually was, but the planet was destroyed just 5 minutes before completing its 10 million year program. The story follows Arthur and his companions as they navigate this absurd universe, encountering everything from paranoid doors to a planet-sized computer, all while trying to make sense of existence itself. The demolition of Arthur's house and Earth's destruction represents the story's opening catastrophe that sets everything in motion. Arthur Dent wakes up to find bulldozers outside his home, planning to demolish it for a bypass. This seemingly important personal crisis becomes laughably insignificant when the Vogon constructor fleet arrives to destroy Earth for a hyperspace bypass. The parallel between Arthur's house and Earth's destruction is Adams's first major satirical stroke, highlighting how bureaucratic incompetence operates at every level of existence. Prefect's casual revelation about his alien origins and Earth's impending doom demonstrates the book's theme that the universe is far stranger and more indifferent than we imagine. The destruction occurs with typical bureaucratic efficiency, the Vogons having filed the appropriate paperwork in a basement office on Alpha Centauri for 50 years. This event establishes the book's central premise that individual concerns are cosmically insignificant, yet Adams treats Arthur's confusion and grief with genuine compassion. The introduction of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy as a literary device provides both exposition and philosophy throughout the story. This electronic book, described as the most successful publication in known space, offers advice on everything from towel usage to dealing with ravenous bug bladder beasts. The guide's entries serve as comedic interludes while delivering Adams's observations about life, technology, and human nature. Its most famous entry explains that towels are the most massively useful thing any interstellar hitchhiker can carry, not for practical reasons, but because anyone who can rough it with just a towel is clearly someone to be reckoned with. The guide represents humanity's eternal quest for knowledge and meaning, though its information is often outdated, inaccurate, or completely useless. Adams uses it to satirize our relationship with technology and information, showing how we often mistake access to data for actual wisdom or understanding. Meeting Zaphod Beeblebrox and stealing the heart of gold introduces the story's most chaotic element. Zaphod, the two-headed president of the galaxy, has stolen the universe's most advanced starship purely because he felt like it. His character embodies the absurdity of political leadership, making crucial decisions based on whim rather than logic or responsibility. The Heart of Gold operates on the infinite improbability drive, a device that allows instantaneous travel by briefly making the ship infinitely improbable. This technology produces wonderfully absurd side effects, like turning missiles into petunias and sperm whales, demonstrating Adams's genius for combining scientific concepts with pure nonsense. Zaphod's theft of the ship launches the main adventure while establishing themes about power, responsibility, and the randomness of existence. His relationship with Trillian, the only other human survivor, adds complexity to Arthur's situation while highlighting how arbitrary survival can be. The discovery of deep thought and the ultimate answer represents the story's philosophical centerpiece. Deep Thought, a massive computer built by a race of hyper-intelligent beings, spent 7.5 million years calculating the ultimate answer to life, the universe, and everything. The answer, famously, is 42. This revelation initially seems anticlimactic, but Deep Thought explains that the answer appears meaningless because the beings never understood what question they were actually asking. The computer suggests that both the question and answer cannot be known by the same mind, creating an existential paradox. This sequence satirizes humanity's search for simple answers to complex questions while exploring themes of knowledge, meaning, and the limits of understanding. Adams uses deep thought to suggest that the act of seeking meaning might be more important than finding definitive answers, and that perhaps the universe's apparent absurdity is itself meaningful. Earth's true purpose as a computer reveals the story's most significant plot twist. Deep Thought designed Earth as an even more powerful computer to determine the ultimate question, with organic life serving as components in this vast computational matrix. Humans were never the dominant species. Mice were actually the most intelligent beings, conducting experiments on humans rather than vice versa. This revelation completely inverts our understanding of intelligence, purpose, and significance. The Earth computer ran for 10 million years, with human civilization being merely part of its programming. Arthur's brain potentially contains fragments of the ultimate question, since he's one of the few survivors of Earth's destruction. This discovery transforms the story from a simple adventure into a meditation on consciousness, intelligence, and the nature of existence itself. Adams uses this concept to question human assumptions about our place in the universe, while maintaining his signature blend of humour and profundity. The restaurant at the end of the universe extends the story's exploration of cosmic absurdity. Milliways, built on the ruins of Frogstar World B, allows diners to watch the universe end while enjoying a meal. The restaurant exists in a temporal bubble, making it accessible from any point in history, and operates on the principle that if you can calculate the precise cost of a meal at the end of time, you can afford anything. This concept satirizes both consumer culture and our relationship with mortality, suggesting that even universal destruction can be commodified and turned into entertainment. The restaurant's existence implies that the universe's end is not particularly significant, just another spectacle to be consumed. Guests arrive via time travel, treating the ultimate cosmic event as casual dinner theatre. This setting allows Adams to explore themes of permanence, meaning, and humanity's tendency to normalize even the most extraordinary circumstances. The encounter with Slarty Bart Fast and Magrathea provides crucial backstory about Earth's construction. Slarty Bart Fast, an award-winning planet designer who specialised in coastlines, worked on Earth as part of a team of cosmic architects. Magrathea was the most prosperous planet in the galaxy, custom building worlds for wealthy clients before the economy collapsed. This revelation treats planet formation as a commercial enterprise, with Earth being a product rather than a natural phenomenon. Slightly Fast's pride in his work, particularly Norway's fjords, humanises the cosmic scale, while maintaining Adams's satirical perspective on art, commerce and achievement. The discovery that Earth was manufactured rather than naturally evolved adds another layer to the story's questioning of assumed truths. It suggests that even our most fundamental beliefs about origin and purpose might be completely wrong, while somehow making this devastating revelation hilarious rather than depressing. The Vogon poetry, Torture, demonstrates Adams's ability to find humour in the darkest situations. Vogon poetry is described as the third worst poetry in the universe, causing physical pain to listeners and considered a form of torture under the Geneva Convention. This sequence satirises both bad art and bureaucratic cruelty, showing how incompetence can be weaponized. The Vogons' use of poetry as punishment reflects their generally unpleasant nature and their delight in causing suffering through cultural means. Adams uses this scene to explore themes of aesthetics, suffering, and the relationship between art and cruelty. The fact that Arthur and Ford survive this torture through sheer determination and politeness highlights the power of human resilience and good manners in the face of cosmic indifference. This episode establishes the Vogons as antagonists while providing insight into galactic culture and the various ways beings can be unpleasant to each other. Embrace the absurdity of existence rather than fighting against it. Adams demonstrates that the universe is fundamentally chaotic and meaningless, but this isn't necessarily a cause for despair. Arthur Dent's journey from confused suburban dweller to cosmic traveller shows that accepting absurdity can be liberating. When faced with the destruction of everything he knew, Arthur learns to adapt and find humour in increasingly bizarre situations. The book suggests that our attempts to impose order and meaning on existence are often futile, but that doesn't make life less worth living. Instead, recognising the universe's absurdity can free us from the burden of finding ultimate purpose and allow us to focus on immediate experiences and relationships. This perspective encourages resilience in the face of uncertainty and helps us maintain perspective during personal crises. Adams shows that laughter and wonder can coexist with acknowledgement of life's fundamental meaninglessness, creating a philosophy that is both realistic and optimistic. Question everything you think you know, because assumed truths are often completely wrong. The revelation that Earth was a computer, mice are intelligent, and humans are experimental subjects overturns every assumption about reality. Adams encourages readers to maintain intellectual humility and remain open to radically different perspectives. This lesson extends beyond science fiction to everyday life, suggesting that our cultural, social, and personal beliefs deserve regular examination. The book demonstrates that intelligence and wisdom aren't the same thing, and that being absolutely certain about something often indicates a lack of understanding rather than superior knowledge. This takeaway encourages curiosity over certainty and emphasizes the importance of asking questions rather than accepting easy answers. Adams shows that the most profound discoveries often come from questioning basic assumptions about how things work, who we are, and what's important. The search for meaning is more important than finding definitive answers. Deep Thoughts, Calculation of 42, as the ultimate answer illustrates that answers without proper questions are meaningless. The computer's suggestion that understanding the question matters more than knowing the answer reflects Adams's philosophical approach to existence. This takeaway suggests that the journey of seeking meaning, asking questions, and exploring possibilities is more valuable than arriving at final conclusions. The book demonstrates that engagement with mystery and uncertainty can be more fulfilling than false certainty. Adams argues that the act of questioning itself gives life purpose, even if we never find satisfactory answers. This perspective encourages intellectual courage and emotional resilience, helping readers find value in uncertainty rather than anxiety. The lesson promotes lifelong learning and curiosity while accepting that some questions might not have answers, at least not answers we can understand. Technology and information are not substitutes for wisdom and understanding. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy contains vast amounts of information, but much of it is outdated, inaccurate, or irrelevant. Adams wrote this before the internet age, but his observations about information overload and the difference between data and knowledge remain relevant. The book suggests that access to information creates an illusion of understanding while potentially distracting from actual wisdom. Characters often consult the guide for answers, but must still rely on judgment, experience, and intuition to navigate complex situations. This takeaway encourages critical thinking about our relationship with technology and information sources. Adams shows that knowing facts isn't the same as understanding context, and that wisdom comes from experience and reflection rather than data accumulation. The lesson promotes intellectual independence and emphasizes the importance of developing personal judgment rather than relying entirely on external sources. Bureaucracy and incompetence are universal problems that transcend species and skill. The Vogons' destruction of Earth for a hyperspace bypass parallels the demolition of Arthur's house, showing how bureaucratic thinking operates at every level. Adams demonstrates that inefficiency, indifference, and procedural obsession are not uniquely human problems, but apparently universal characteristics of organized systems. The book satirizes how bureaucracies prioritize process over purpose, often causing tremendous harm through sheer indifference rather than malicious intent. This takeaway encourages readers to recognize and resist bureaucratic thinking in their own lives and organizations. Adams shows that individual action and personal responsibility remain important even within large systems. The lesson promotes awareness of how institutional structures can dehumanize decision-making and emphasizes the importance of maintaining personal agency and moral judgment. Individual significance exists despite cosmic insignificance. While Earth's destruction demonstrates humanity's cosmic unimportance, Arthur's personal journey and relationships retain meaning and value. Adams balances acknowledgement of our small place in the universe with affirmation of individual experience and emotion. The book suggests that recognizing our cosmic insignificance doesn't negate the importance of personal relationships, individual growth, or human dignity. This perspective helps readers maintain both humility about humanity's place in the universe and confidence in their own experiences and values. Adams shows that meaning can be both relative and real, existing at the personal level even if it doesn't exist at the cosmic level. This takeaway encourages readers to find purpose in immediate relationships and experiences rather than seeking validation from external sources or cosmic significance. Adaptability and resilience are essential survival skills in an unpredictable universe. Arthur's transformation from a confused suburban dweller to a cosmic traveller demonstrates the importance of flexibility and openness to change. The book shows that those who survive and thrive are not necessarily the smartest or strongest, but those who can adapt to new circumstances and maintain their humanity despite chaos. Adams illustrates that resilience comes from accepting change rather than resisting it, and from maintaining curiosity and humour in difficult situations. This lesson applies to both extraordinary circumstances and everyday challenges, encouraging readers to develop emotional flexibility and intellectual adaptability. The book suggests that our ability to adjust our expectations and approaches is more important than our ability to control outcomes. This takeaway promotes psychological resilience and helps readers approach uncertainty with confidence rather than anxiety. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy endures as a masterpiece because Douglas Adams achieved something extraordinary. He created a work that is simultaneously deeply funny and profoundly meaningful. While the book operates as brilliant entertainment filled with memorable characters and quotable lines, it also serves as a philosophical meditation on existence, meaning, and humanity's place in an indifferent universe. Adams managed to make cosmic insignificance feel liberating rather than depressing, suggesting that acknowledging our small place in the universe can free us to focus on what truly matters. The book's lasting impact comes from its unique approach to big questions. Rather than providing easy answers or false comfort, Adams embraces uncertainty and absurdity while maintaining genuine affection for his characters and readers. His vision of the universe as chaotic and meaningless doesn't lead to nihilism, but to a kind of gentle humanism that finds value in personal relationships, individual growth, and the simple act of paying attention to the world around us. What makes this book particularly relevant today is its prescient observations about technology, information, and modern life. Adams's satirical take on bureaucracy, his insights about the difference between data and wisdom, and his warnings about the dangers of certainty feel remarkably contemporary. The book offers a framework for navigating complexity and uncertainty that remains useful decades after its publication. Ultimately, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy suggests that while we may never understand the universe's purpose or our place within it, we can still choose how we respond to mystery and uncertainty. Adams advocates for curiosity over certainty, humour over despair, and connection over isolation. His achievement lies in creating a work that acknowledges life's fundamental absurdity while celebrating the human capacity for wonder, friendship, and laughter. The book reminds us that even if the answer to everything is 42, the journey of questioning and exploring remains infinitely valuable and surprisingly joyful.